Welcome to the Rustic Garden Homestead. Today I want to show you what my garden looks like when I get burned out. A lot of YouTubers will show you perfect gardens all the time, but we all get burned out. Gardens get overgrown. Perfectly normal. I want to show you this because I don't want you to get discouraged if your garden is a little, beat up and overgrown. I get burned out middle of July, start getting my energy back about now, middle of August. But this is what my garden often looks like when I'm burned out. I'm going to go over a couple of tips to help deal with burnout, and then I'm going to show you a project. I'd like to do a small project and accomplish something that really brings back my motivation. But right now, weeds are everywhere. I just don't feel like being out here in 100-degree heat, dealing with the weeding, so stuff gets overgrown. Now the good news is, there's a lot of goodness in here still. Blueberry bushes are doing great. I got to weed out the space. The fruit trees have doubled in size after their pruning from earlier in the spring. I'm going to have to prune them back again. Take a look at all the plants in here. These are pepper plants. These are muscadines back there. They were really pruned back. They're overgrown. I got to, take care of everything. But there's so many good looking peppers in here. Just because I'm burned out and the garden is overgrown doesn't mean the plants aren't doing well. So lots of great production in here. So I got to get in here, take out all the peppers. You'll notice the leaves look pretty good. I am able to keep up on spraying. But as we kind of spin around, you can just get a good sense of, how things got a little bit out of control. I will get them back under control. I'm not going to come out here and think I got to do this all in one day. If you want to skip past the beginning a little bit where I talk about burnout, you can go right to the project where I really, in about an hour or so, transform a space, and it looks really, really good. Towers. Not so bad. These are filled with strawberries. I'm going to clean these up, take out all the plants that aren't strawberries, put in some flowers, and I'm in the process of transitioning this space. Going forward, it's going to be primarily strawberries and flowers. The first tip I really have for you is if you're just getting started, I even have shade cloth that is blown all over the place. If you're just getting started, don't overplant. Start with a really small garden, because come the middle of July, when the plants are full size, you're going to feel like, maybe you're a little bit overwhelmed. So start with a garden that's a little bit smaller than you think. See how it goes for a year, and then you can slowly start adding to it. We're just going to walk through real quick. Lots of overgrowth in here, but the plants are still producing. One of the things that is key is to pick what you're able to do. Weeding, out of control. Couldn't get to it. Didn't like the 95, 100-degree temperatures and weeding. But I kept up on my spraying so that the diseases stayed off of my tomato plants, and nothing really rolled in. It's going to wipe out everything. What rolled into here, and we're going to do a before and after. This space, spent blackberries, overgrown muscadines, lovely sunflower that has to come out that seeded itself, devastated kale, because I forgot this group and didn't spray, and the army worms moved in. This is all going to be cleared out. And then I'm going to put shade cloth over it, and I'm going to plant in some cool weather crops. You can't even see, there's 3 raised beds in here. This will take 20 minutes to clear out everything, another 20 minutes to fix up the soil, about 20 minutes to plant my transplants, and then another 20 minutes to put the shade cloth cover over this. This is a great way to start the cool crops in August here in Maryland, keep the heat off the plants, and get to growing some lettuces and greens. So, about 80 minutes, let's just call it an hour and a half, this will be all transformed over. But this is what really happens, lots of overgrowth. Coming from this angle, I was ripping out stuff, just leave it on the ground, containers out. All of my asparagus is going to be cut out because I don't want those seeds dropping everywhere. So I'm going to remove, those are female plants, by the way. So wherever you have seeds, that's a female plant. So that's going to get pulled out. Plenty of jalapenos, and look, the leaves look good. I'm staying up on the spraying. Beans are starting to die out. I've actually harvesting a lot of those. Still a lot of beans in there. Look at the beautiful cantaloupe right down there. Tomato leaves are looking good. This is what happens when you leave tomatoes on too long. They just start to rot and mold off. The heat has been still beating up my tomato plants, but really green. Cucumber plants starting to die back, but there are lots of cucumbers. Look, way overgrown. That happens too. That one looks pretty good. Melons in there. There's a nice close-up of the cantaloupe. That's just about ready to harvest. The zucchini looks great. There's probably a zucchini hidden in there. Melons have to be given a little hammock so they don't pull off the vine. Second wave of green beans in, and you can see where the spraying has been happening, like spider mites aren't rolling in there. So what I did pick again was keeping up on the spraying. As we come around this way, I can see there's some rabbit damage right in there. That's okay. Peppers in containers, just so many peppers. I'm going to be doing a harvesting video. I wasn't going to do that. It's kind of like showing off, but I think it does help people just see what they can get out of a space. Plants are loaded. Let's go over here. The cucumbers here are getting beat up. The idea is to keep planting. So there's a couple little ones in there. They need a little bit of fertilizer. They're going to be okay. They're going to grow through this period of insects and diseases come in, because that cycle of disease, insects kind of dies off at different points in the season. You have new plants come in, they're not bothered by it. There's cucumbers down there, a bunch of them. Those are ready to be picked. There's still so much growing in here. Super hots, beets. The butternut squash, because I'm staying up on the spraying, is still doing its thing. All over the place, covering my leeks, you know, going up the fence. That is just one vine. So when you're planting butternut squash, you know, start to be thinking about 18, 24-foot vine. It really grows. Plenty of butternut squash on there. There's two right there, a couple hanging. These are weeds, you know, right now I guess I am growing some weeds. Basil looks pretty good. Growing in here, shaded by the green beans. Green beans are starting to produce some. You still get plenty of produce. These are beans that were beat up by spider mites underneath. They got sprayed, they should be fine. Coming into this space, the melons are looking pretty good. There's one forming right there. Cantaloupe, a little bit out of control. It was kind of beat up by some pests before. The other thing that I focus on is I'm like 95% organic. If you have to use a chemical fertilizer or something like that, you don't wreck your garden. I even broke out the sprinkler because I got tired of watering in the heat. You don't have to be afraid of the chemical type fertilizers. Where did I use them? There's probably some Miracle-Gro around here. I know people, if you don't like the company, get a different chemical fertilizer. The beans right here were really beat up. Gave them a drink of Miracle-Gro because it has everything a plant needs. Get them back on track. The plant's growing. I'll go back to my organic ways. I have tons of compost. Like, we move slowly. Compost. Tons in that barrel, or the wheelbarrow right there. Compost. That's going to go all into the redesign of that area I showed you with the 3 raised beds. Plenty of compost. I use tons of it. My point is you don't also have to stress yourself out thinking you have to be perfect with just organic ways. If you want to do that, that's great. But I tell you, if you're 90% organic, 95% organic, using compost all the time, there's nothing wrong with using a chemical type fertilizer here or there. This is, you know, from the rain a couple days ago. That's compost tea now, I guess. This area I started cleaning up. Have lots of plants growing for the cool weather crops. Just did a video on it. Loaded. The peppers are absolutely loaded. Banana peppers. You know, another tip I have is grow plants that do really well. Banana peppers are great to add to your garden if you're just getting started. You see the chaos a little bit around here. Radishes coming up. Tomatoes. All these are going to get harvested. I'm going to be making a tomato sauce out of it. But generally speaking, you know, the garden's not so bad. But I don't want to show you a perfectly weed-free garden. Everything's pruned, everything's perfect, every dying leaf is removed. It's just not realistic. That's a pumpkin plant. Have another wave right over there. Another wave of zucchini coming in. This is corn, 65-day corn, doing really well. This was planted, I think, back on July 17th. Even coming into the cucumbers here that are beat up, this is a great place to give a a plant a drink of the water-soluble chemical type fertilizers, give them everything they need. The leaves come back a little bit greener and you still get some production. Look right there, right in there, one down there, while maybe your other crops are kind of establishing your next wave of maybe cucumbers or zucchini or squash. And then coming back through here, you can only do so much sometimes. This is a really big garden. I take care of this myself. Don't have a crew, maybe one day, or maybe I'll do some sort of internship and teach and have people help me out, not sure. You can only do so much, so I don't want you to be discouraged if your garden begins to get out of control. These plants right here are perennial flowers really, but they're weeds because I don't want them here. They just won't stop coming, so I'm actually working on a salt, soap, and vinegar solution to really spray and kill all these off. Let's go back to the before and after. So this is the space that is really overgrown. These muscadines were hacked back so much in the spring, that's what you're supposed to do, then all this new growth brings you the muscadines, which are kind of like grapes. So let's clear out this space. In about 90 minutes, this is going to be transformed over with a shade cloth structure and cool weather crop transplants in there. And that will give me some motivation to kind of take the garden back from, you know, being overgrown and a little bit beat up. But that's maybe the final thing. Don't come out here, or don't come out to your garden and think you've got to fix everything. Pick a space, work on it, and then use it as motivation to go to the next part of your garden. So today, it's going to be making this space over. It already looks so much better. Look at all the stuff that I took out of here. I am motivated to continue, love the way it looks, and accomplishing a little bit will motivate you to continue. Took 15 minutes, 8:59 to 9:14. You could stop here, that's another tip. Don't feel like you have to do everything. It is starting to rain, so I'm going to take a break. But it's cleared out. The next step is using my compost to bring up the soil level in the containers or in the raised beds up to the top, and then I'll plant in the transplants that I have, the cool weather crops. A little at a time. This is really, really motivating. Let me show you the compost that I'm going to be using. If you're able to, I highly recommend composting. I have more than I can use now. This will all, like I said, go into compost. Don't worry about using the chemical type fertilizers, but compost is really the best. Composted manure, composted plant matter, organic matter, etc. It really, really makes a difference. If you get to composting, then you don't have to spend money on any kind of fertilizer. Organic, water soluble, chemical water soluble, granular types. You can just save a lot of money and use compost. And when I say I'm 95% organic, I'm really probably now 95% compost. This is all my compost area. We're going to use the compost in the wheelbarrow there. I just fill up these 5-gallon buckets. It's probably going to take 2 or 3 for each bed, but I make tons of compost. And then spinning over here slowly, and we had a tree fall the other day in the wind. That's all leaf grow. That's all leaf compost. And then I have another bin that I just started right over there. Compost makes all the difference. It's free and it's what your plants love. Filling up the raised beds with compost, that's going to take, I got to finish it, but about 22 minutes. So right on track, looks good. Bed levels are raised up. When you're putting down compost, you want to make sure you mix it into the top 4 or 6 inches of the existing soil. That's just a good way to go. We're going to put in the transplants. I'm not going to show you the planting. I have plenty of videos on that. If you want to follow me and subscribe, I'll show you how to take care of a fall garden this year. I'll teach you how to grow food, and I'm always going to show you what a garden really looks like and help you just have a better experience. So the plants, the leafy greens, I'm putting in here, I want to grow to full size. So it's going to be a good 6-inch spacing, 4 to 6 inches for the lettuces, 12 inches for the kale and collards because I get white flies. I'm keeping the blackberries. They sprouted up on their own. They should really be potted up and moved somewhere, but I love blackberries. These are first-year canes that are coming up right now. So next year they're going to be loaded with blackberries. For the shade cloth, I could build a fancy structure. This is another tip. We can get overwhelmed thinking we got to put in metal posts and some sort of frame and then drop the shade cloth over. I am just going to put down some tomato cages, bamboo poles, and then you just drape the shade cloth over that. That keeps the ground cooler. That's what you want in August when the heat is beating down when you're growing cool crops. And then I'll remove it. When I have more time, I'm going to put in a fancier structure here for shade cloth. This kind of project is what motivates me, so hopefully you guys do find motivation kind of through the burnout period that a lot of us get. So I don't need shade cloth in this whole space. My southern sun is over here, western sun is over my left shoulder of the picture frame. So this side is going to have enough shade. So you can just set up something as simple as that. That will keep the soil cooler, let your cool weather crops grow without fear of them bolting or just not liking all the heat. All I have to do now is put in the plants. I'll show you what that looks like just so that you can see the project at completion. But mostly lettuces, a broccoli and cauliflower in the back, one kale, one collard over there. If I didn't already say it, one thing I do recommend is instead of planting 4 or 5 kale plants, 3 or 4 collard greens, they get lots of diseases. Just, do 1 or 2, manage them well, and you'll get plenty of leafy greens, especially for a family of 2, maybe 3 plants for a family of 4. But don't overplant. That's another mistake we tend to make. Everything looks small, it looks cute, it looks beautiful, but when it gets large, it can be a problem, taking care of everything, and especially dealing with pests and disease. Well, I got done just in time. The rain is coming down. About an hour and 15 minutes. Planted everything up. Just wanted to let you see what it looks like. Keeping the spacing, pretty good distance apart because I want these to grow to full-size heads of lettuce. But I think it looks really good. Please subscribe. I'll show you how I take care of these plants. And please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com. We all get burned out. Gardens aren't supposed to look perfect. We just got to keep them maintained enough to get our food out of them. Thanks for watching.